Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the command line and some cool commands that we can run on it. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is come to our terminal and then type in CMD. So once you type in CMD, it should bring out this icon, this app. So when you see it, you click it and then open it. When you open it, it should look like this, something exactly like this. So now the first command I'm going to be talking about is cd, which is change directory. Now I'm going to explain how this command works. Now notice how we are in my desktop environment. This is my desktop environment where we have different folders, different files. So, and if we now open my command prompt, from the file path we see from the hard drive to users to IDG that we are not inside my desktop. So what if we now to enter my desktop environment? What do we do? What we say is cd change directory desktop, and then if we check the file path, we see that okay, we're already inside my desktop. You can see that we're already inside my desktop. But how do we prove that we're inside my desktop? This is how we prove it, by performing the next command. So the next command is called dir. What dir means is directories. It shows the list of directories inside the folder that you are in. So now that I am inside my desktop environment, if I want to see all the files, the folders that are inside my desktop, all I need to say is dir, and then you can see it prints out all the folders and files in my desktop. So now we can see Google here. If we come, we can see a Google folder here. We see programming here. If we come in here, we can see programming. We see Call of Duty here. If we come, we see Call of Duty. So basically it printed everything in my desktop area. So now we've talked about two commands, cd and dir. Now if I now want to enter a folder, let's say I want to enter my synchronic folder now. How do I enter this folder? We use the cd command again. So we say cd synchronic, and then we see that one cd synchronic. Now if you want to navigate your way in a folder, the best option to take is to use the dir command. So because if I want to enter this folder now and I don't know the contents of that folder, what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to enter the folder and say dir, because using dir is good. Because if I want to enter a folder of which I've forgotten the name, but I know it is inside here, what I do is just enter that folder, then do dir. Now let's say I am looking for a folder inside synchronic. What I do is I do dir, and then it prints out all the folders in synchronic and all the files inside synchronic. So basically that's what dir does. But now that I'm inside synchronic, what if I want to go back to my desktop area? There is a command for that, and the command is cd space dot dot, and you can see we're back in my desktop area. So what cd space dot 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 does is that it takes you back to the previous directory you were in. It takes you back to the previous directory you were in. Now let me show you something. Let us enter synchronic back. cd synchronic. Now we're inside synchronic. Let us enter a folder here. Let us enter HTML101 folder. cd HTML101. Now we're inside HTML101 folder inside synchronic. But what if I want to go back to desktop and I don't want to type cd dot dot cd space dot dot and then I'll now type under cd space dot dot? What I can simply do is I do cd space dot dot slash space dot dot. Now let me show you. cd space dot dot slash dot dot. Now what this does is that this first cd space dot dot, it takes you back to this synchronic folder. The next dot dot takes you back to the desktop folder. So if you run this command, we see we're back in the desktop folder. So now we've talked about cd dot dir. Now let us now move on to other commands. So now in my desktop area, what if I want to now create a folder inside my desktop? There is a command for that, and the name of the command is mkdir. Mkdir is short for make directory. So if I want to create a folder named house, what I do is I type mkdir house, and then if we check our desktop, we can see a house folder has appeared. So to make directories, you make the command mkdir. To make folders, you use the command mkdir plus the name of the directory or folder you want to create. So after doing that, what if we now want to enter this folder and then create a file? Now we're talking about creating a file, not a directory or a folder. Now we now enter this house and say cd house, and then we want to create a folder. No, we want to create a file inside this house. There are two commands you can use. The first command you can use is echo. I'm going to show you how that works. And the second command you can use is type null. Now I'm going to show you the difference between echo and null. So let's create a file using echo. So we want to create a text file named house.txt. What we simply do is we say echo is and house.txt, and then the file is created. To prove that the file is created, we use the command that we learned before, which is dir, to list the amount of files, to list the files and folders that are inside the directory. So we now say dir to check what is inside house folder. When we check, we can see that we have the house.txt. The folder is inside, and the file is inside the folder. So this is a way of creating a file. We can also use this to create other files like PDF. We can say echo house.pdf, and if we run this and check for the files inside and say dir, we can see that we now have house.pdf and house.txt. That is how to use echo to create files. Now the second way of creating files is using type null. Now type null basically does the same thing that echo does, but I'm going to show you the difference. So we now say type null. If we want to create a file named share, we say type null share.txt. Now we can see that to check if the file has been created, we now say dir, and then we say share.txt there. What if we want to create a PDF file using type null? We say type null share.pdf, and if we run this and check, you are going to see share.pdf, share.txt, house of this. Now what exactly is the difference between echo and what's the difference between echo and type null? I'm going to show you now. So if we now enter the folder manually and then we open these text files, we're going to see the difference. So let us open house.txt. It's going to open this, and then let's now open share.txt. It's going to open a text file. So notice how in this folder that we use echo to create, there is this text echo is on, but in this file that we use type null to create, we can see nothing is inside. So each time I'm creating a file using my command prompt, my command line, I prefer using type null because when it's created, no text is added to it. So it's better to use type null to create your files. But what if I want to see the contents of this particular text file without having to come to my desktop and open the file manually. What I do is that I go to my command line, and then I want to see this chair.txt. What do I write if I want to see this chair.txt? The command I use is type chair.txt. You can see nothing because nothing is inside chair.txt. So now if we now want to see what is inside house.txt, surely something is going to show because we use echo to create it, and inside this folder echo is on. You see echo is on. So if we say type house.txt, what we should see is echo is on. So if you say type house.txt, we can see that echo is on is written. Now if I now come here and I type in some random things and then I save it and then I close it. If I come here and say type house.txt, we can see the gibberish I typed. So basically the type command is to print out the contents of a file inside your command line, so you don't have to go to the file to open it to see it. You can just view it from the command line. So now we've talked about the type command, talked about cd, talked about cd dot, talked about dir, talked about mkdir. Now the next one we're going to talk about is removing folders and files. Okay, what if I now want to create a folder? What if I created a folder that I want to delete? What do I do? Let's go back to our desktop. We say cd desktop, and then we're in our desktop. So let's create a folder. If I say mkdir car is going to create a car folder. So what if I want to delete this car folder using my command line? What do I do? What command do I run? The command you run is rmdir. Rmdir means remove directory. So if I want to remove this car folder, what I say is rmdir car, and then you can see car is gone. So if I want to remove this folder, I do the same thing. But notice that if we say rmdir house to remove this house folder, it's going to print out something. Let's try it. Rmdir house. So what it said, the process cannot access the file because it is being used. Okay, let's close this file first. Yeah, let's close it. So let's try to delete this folder and see what it says. It says the directory is not empty. You can't directly delete a directory just like that, saying rmdir plus the name of the directory, because there are some files inside. So to now delete everything totally, you can choose to go into the folder and say cd house and start deleting the folders one by one. So what you do is you say you can go into the folder and start deleting it one by one. So let's say cd house. Now we're inside house. I will now say dir and see content inside. You see this. So the way to delete files is different from the way of deleting folders. To delete a folder, you say rmdir plus name of the folder. But to delete a file, you say del plus name of the folder. So if I want to delete chair.pdf, I use the command del then chair.pdf. And if we do this, I will now say dir again to check the contents. You can see that chair.pdf is gone because we have deleted it. Now let's now go back to our desktop. Let me show you something. Let's say cd desktop. Now we're in our desktop. What if we want to delete this folder? If we tried it before, rmdir house, and then it says directory is not empty. If you now want to totally delete this directory with the files inside without having to go inside and delete the files one by one, we say rmdir house/s. So when you do add this /s, you are telling us that you want to delete everything. You want to delete the folder plus the contents of the folder. It's now going to ask you, are you sure? If you say why, it's going to delete everything. And you can see everything is gone. So here we've talked about echo, we've talked about rmdir, mkdir, del type null. Now the last thing we're going to talk about is how to open files with your command prompt. See this index.html file. It's an HTML file, and if I click it, it's going to open. Chrome is going to open with Chrome. What if I don't want to have to come here and start clicking it? What if I want to open it using my command line? What I do is I type in the name and just click enter, and index.html. And if I click enter, it's going to start reading, and then my Chrome is going to open. Just watch this, and then you already see my Chrome open because I ran this command to open it. So another cool thing you can do to make your command line look attractive is to change the color. So right now I want to give you this green hacker thing. So what I'm going to say is color 0 color A, and then when I run it, you can see the color of everything we've been doing. The color of the text has changed. So if you want to change the color of your text and the background and you don't know how to, you can just ask command prompt to show you the steps. So what you do is the command you type in is color help. When you type in color help, it's going to print this thing out. It's going to show you the different combinations of numbers and letters you can use to create the text color and the background. So this right here is for the background, and this right here is for the text. If I want to use if I want my background to be let me say to be blue, and I want my text to be red, the command I'm going to run is color1c. Now let's try that. Let's say color, we check here 1 and light red C. You can see that it has changed, but this isn't really attractive, so I'm going to stick with my hacker thing, which is color OA. And then you see I'll go back to this. So basically, don't forget all the commands that you let you go and practice, and then don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more quality videos. Click the card that shows up after this video for more quality videos on learning your command prompts. Thank you for watching my video. Stay blessed.